Hey guys, Ralph Havens here. And what's the biggest thing in the way of your happiness? What kind of obstacles are going on? Right now there's so many things going on, some that just seem completely unreasonable. And whatever side of politics you're on, red or blue, Trump or not Trump, or whatever side of the coronavirus lockdown thing, the mask or no mask, there's a lot of stuff pushing people's buttons. And there's anxiety is at an all-time high. And there's scientists and doctors, lawyers all over the world right now saying we've got to stop this lockdown because there's so many people dying as a direct result of the lockdown. And then there's other people that are so afraid and they're like, oh my God, everybody, please mask up. We've got to stop the spread of this deadly disease. And so there's anxiety like crazy, and the homelessness thing is going up through the roof, like Los Angeles and Portland and other cities, Seattle. There's so many people living in tents now, and people that are on the streets, and um, calls to suicide hotlines are up 800%. And so drug use is at an all-time high, anxiety meds and depression meds and alcohol, and they're sure keeping the marijuana stores open, essential services, and so it's like, what's going on? And some things just don't make sense. Like, it's so wonderful that they finally opened up the playground so children can play, but they put all these signs around that said, make sure all the children are wearing masks. And if you see somebody not wearing a mask, go ahead and let them know, police it yourself. And it's like, kind of like the Nazis, you mean? Like turning your neighbors, you mean? What is that? And it says, if you're something about if you have flu-like symptoms, if you're sick, stay home. A sign that says that. It's like, yeah, when I'm sick with the flu, I really want to get to a playground. It's like, what? What? Are we stupid? Are people just like need to be told to stay home if they have the flu? And then the health authorities are months ago, the leaders in the health authorities, in the National Institutes of Health and National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, Coronavirus Task Force, all those people were saying no need to wear a mask. It doesn't do anything for the virus. And which is actually supported by the science. If you look at the science, the meta studies on high-powered studies that have looked at mask safety and efficacy. And then they were saying, you got to wear a mask. And then last week, the World Health Organization came out, the top leaders in that World Health Organization said, yeah, we don't need the masks, and the lockdown isn't helping. And it's like saying this, saying that, saying this, saying that. It's crazy. So yesterday I went for my run and I was so excited. I ran by 3 playgrounds, ran by 2 playgrounds, drove by 2 other ones, and all the tape was off in Washington. Children can play on a playground again. And I was so excited. And so I thought, has something happened? So I went and went to my browser to search the internet and see in the news, like what happened. So I typed in, playgrounds, restrictions, lockdown, Washington State. And it had some headline about Washington State eases restrictions. But then in the body of the article, it had nothing to do with Washington State. It had to do with Perth, Australia. And I'm like, is going on? My brain is starting to go, what? Like, the headline has nothing to do with the article. And nowhere could I find anything that said, oh yeah, playgrounds are open now. It's like, whoa. So my friend who came from a place where they literally, the government killed their own citizens. It was something from back in the day, Vietnam era, Cambodia. And she was letting us know, she's told us before, like, golly, man, this is like serious stuff, what's going on. And so anxiety is at an all-time high. And then we're told not to be around people and not to have masks on, or not to go out without a mask. And then, but some leaders are now saying no. And then, so what do you do? So one of the things that I thought was, because I've been getting people reaching out to me to help clear anxiety more and more and more. That seems to be the thing right now, whether people are an entrepreneur and they really want to get their work and their healing and their message out to the world, or just regular moms and families with kids that are having severe anxiety. And what I realized was these times can be a disaster, but it can also be our biggest blessing, our biggest training, our biggest opportunity. And it's kind of like a football team that has an opponent that's also another really great football team. And if you have a football team that has to go up against a really great football team, it helps them both rise to the occasion. They would have, neither of them been as good if they hadn't had each other. And I love running, and some of the greatest runners have done things that are beyond belief. And they had a competitor that was right there with them and pushing them. And if they hadn't had that competitor, they probably wouldn't have got to the level that they got to. So in the same way, we can treat this obstacle, this disaster, whatever side of whatever you're on with any of this stuff, as something, if it charges you up, if it gets you full of anxiety, angst, fear, depression, anger, it's in you. It's in you. And there is a way to go use that disaster to find whatever that is in you and clear it. And if it wasn't for this disaster, you wouldn't have become the great person or done the great thing or brought your great gifts to the world. So these are the most amazing times. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know if we're going to all be forced to get injected with a coronavirus vaccine, or if we're going to have medical freedom, or I don't know. But I do know that we can use these crazy, crazy times, wherever you are, whatever you line up with, to go see what is that in you that gets charged, that gets activated. And there's a way to clear that. There's a way to clear that. So look for that. It's what I'm using with my entrepreneurs that I'm working with more and more now. Because when they're dealing with anxiety and fear, and it's related to putting their work out to the world, it can cost them literally millions of dollars. And solving that is worth it. The thing is, solving it for everybody is worth it. And so, so that's my my hope, that people use these disastrous times to go inside and clear whatever that is in you. And if you want my help, PM me, message me, email me, contact me, and let me know. And I can send you a training video of what I've made. That's my #1 way to clear that sort of thing. So message me. You can find it at ralphhavens.com/crush imposter syndrome. All right, you guys, heading out for a fun Saturday.